Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack the essential, actionable insights from your information stack. And today, we're talking about the first hour of the day.
hmm
We've all been there, right? You get inspired by some article, you set the alarm for 5 a.m. on Monday,
Oh, yeah.
and then by Wednesday, you've hit the snooze button 17 times. The whole routine just collapses because it feels like it's built for someone who isn't a real human.
That is exactly the problem that the research we're diving into today is trying to solve. We've pulled together a science-backed, sub-60-minute morning routine that's actually designed to stick.
Okay, stick is the key word there.
It is. And it promises not just a calmer start, but according to the studies, it can boost your daytime energy by a measurable 37%.
Wow. Okay, 37%. That's a huge claim. I mean, that's not just, I feel a bit better, that's quantifiable. So before we get into the steps, what's the mechanism there?
Right. And it's a fair question. The key finding, it really comes down to hormonal stability, specifically cortisol regulation.
Ah, cortisol. Okay.
Yeah. Most of those crash and burn routines, they spike your cortisol and your blood sugar immediately. You're rushing, you grab a sugary coffee.
Right, you're already stressed.
Exactly. This framework, though, it stabilizes those systems by prioritizing things like hydration, some light movement, and the right kind of fuel. It basically shifts your brain out of that groggy sleep inertia state and into focus mode, but without that high-stress jolt.
I love that. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack this framework, this structure that makes a sub 60-minute routine actually work. Because I think the scaffolding is what we always miss.
Precisely. The structure is the secret weapon. It organizes everything around a really simple mnemonic. WATER.
WATER.
If you can remember that one word, you have the roadmap to getting your prefrontal cortex online and getting that hormonal reset every single morning.
So let's unpack it. WATER. What are we actually doing here?
So W is for wake, consistent wake time. That's the foundation for your circadian rhythm. A is for air and water, immediate oxygenation and hydration. T is for tidy, which is all about getting a quick dopamine hit.
Interesting.
E is energize, so that's your movement and your fuel. Endorphins, blood sugar control. And finally, R is reflect. That's the 5-minute planning step to bring your prefrontal cortex, your focus center, fully online.
All right, let's start at the beginning, establishing that foundation with WAT. So W for wake. You said this is the bedrock.
It is.
We usually fixate on the time itself, like I have to wake up at 5, but the research really says it's the consistency that matters most.
It's completely non-negotiable. If you wake up at 6:30 on a Tuesday and then 9:30 on a Saturday, your body just never finds a stable rhythm. And the biggest enemy of that consistency is, well, it's the snooze button.
The dreaded snooze. The source material has a pretty aggressive solution for this. Place your alarm across the room.
It's intentionally aggressive. It has to be. You're fighting what researchers call sleep inertia.
That groggy, confused feeling.
Exactly. By forcing you to physically stand up and walk, you are literally breaking that inertia cycle. You're in motion. The barrier to starting is gone. The battle is half won before you're even fully awake.
Okay, so I'm up, I'm across the room, now we're at A, air, and water. And it feels very deliberate to do these physical things before any mental stuff.
Absolutely. Think about it. Your body is dehydrated and low on oxygen after sleeping. So for air, you immediately open the curtains, get that light exposure, and then do 10 deep breaths.
Any specific kind of breathing?
Yeah, the 4-7-8 method. So you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and then exhale for 8. It's a really rapid way to oxygenate your entire system.
And then the water, we're talking 16 ounces or 500 milliliters. But the detail that surprised me was adding lemon. Why the lemon?
The research points to the electrolytes and the slight acidity. They seem to signal the body to absorb the water more efficiently. It suggests you rehydrate up to 20% faster than with just plain water, so you're erasing that overnight deficit almost instantly.
That's amazing. So we're hydrated, we're breathing. Now, T for tidy. This isn't about deep cleaning, right? This is short.
No, this is purely psychological. A micro-tidy. We're talking make the bed. That's a huge visual cue that sleep is over. And then a quick 1-minute pickup, put your keys away, hang up your clothes.
But why does that even matter? It feels a little superficial for a science-based routine.
It's so impactful because it gives you a reliable, fast dopamine hit.
Yeah,
Your brain releases dopamine when you complete a goal, no matter how tiny. Making the bed is a visible, tangible win in the first 10 minutes of your day. Creates this pattern of success, of momentum.
And that carries you through to the harder parts.
Exactly. And speaking of which, we have to talk about the hacks that make this whole thing stick. The things that prevent you from failing by Wednesday. The first one is called sleep math.
Sleep math, I like that. It's so simple, but we just don't do it. The routine has to start the night before.
It has to. If your goal is to wake up at 6:30 a.m. every day, you have to count backwards 7.5 hours. That's an 11 p.m. bedtime, period. If you don't protect that bedtime, the whole system falls apart.
My favorite hack from the sources, though, is phone jail. This goes after the #1 killer of morning routines, the smartphone.
Phone jail is critical. It just means you charge your phone outside the bedroom, you use a cheap $10 analog alarm clock instead.
So you're cutting off the distractions, social media, news, email, before your brain is even ready for them.
Right. Before your prefrontal cortex is online to handle it.
But doesn't that create some anxiety? I know I worry about missing an urgent work email or a family emergency if I don't check my phone right away.
That anxiety is real, and the research has a couple of recommendations. First, just recognize that almost nothing is truly urgent in the first 30 minutes of your day.
True.
And second, you use the alarm label hack. So instead of your alarm just saying alarm, you rename it to a command like drink water plus make bed. It primes your brain for action, not for information consumption.
Okay, so that WAT sequence gets us from groggy to focused and hydrated. Now we're at the E-energize. This is the longest part, right? Like 20 to 30 minutes.
It is, but it also delivers the biggest payoff for your energy and mood. This is where you get that endorphin release and stabilize your metabolism for hours. The move part is non-negotiable.
I think this is where a lot of people fall off. The motivation to exercise first thing is tough. What's the trick to actually doing it?
The trick is to remove every possible point of friction. So the sources suggest two super flexible, low-friction options. First is just a simple walk outside.
Which also gets you more of that light exposure you mentioned.
Exactly. It stacks the benefits. The second option, if you can't get outside, is the hyper-efficient 7-minute workout.
And the source is very specific here. You just search for 7-minute HIIT, no equipment on YouTube or an app store. The barrier is 0. 7 minutes is so short your brain can't really talk you out of it.
That's the whole point. You overcome the psychological hurdle with brevity.
Yeah.
So once you've moved the body, you have to fuel it. This is the second half of E, and it's what sustains that 37% energy boost. The rule is a breakfast built around protein plus fiber.
And we've all done the opposite, right? Grab a bagel or cereal and then just crash hard at 10:30 a.m. We're trying to avoid that blood sugar spike.
That is precisely it. Simple carbs cause an insulin spike and then a crash. Protein and fiber slow everything down, stabilizing your blood sugar. The challenge, of course, is how do you get 20 grams of protein in under 5 minutes?
That's the real world test. And the sources had some really good, fast examples.
They had to be efficient. So there's the power jar.
Yeah.
You layer Greek yogurt, frozen berries, and almonds the night before. That's 25 grams of protein, and it's literally grab and go.
I like that one.
Or the egg mug. You just microwave 2 eggs with some spinach for 2 minutes. That's 18 grams of protein. Super fast.
The egg mug is brilliant. And even the fallback option, the PB&B, just a banana with peanut butter and cinnamon, that still gets you about 12 grams. So the takeaway is really prioritize that protein.
So we've handled the body, the metabolism. The last piece of this puzzle is our reflect. This is a 5-minute step that's all about bringing your prefrontal cortex fully online.
And remind us, why is that so important? What's the role of the prefrontal cortex here?
Well, it's your CEO. It's the part of your brain that handles prioritization, decision-making, emotional regulation. If you skip this and jump right into your email, you're just reacting all day. This step puts you in control.
And it's not just random thinking. It's a very specific 3-minute journal structure.
It has to be precise to be fast. The 3 prompts are specifically chosen for mood and action. Number 1, grateful for, which elevates your mood. Number 2, top 1 task today. That sets your priority. And number 3, an I am affirmation. That sets your intention. 3 minutes, huge impact.
That sets the stage for the day. And then the very final action of the whole routine is called ready. This is showering, dressing, and more phone jail.
Yes. You have to extend the phone jail. You keep your phone away until a set time, say 7:30 a.m., to block all that incoming digital chaos.
Because if you do all this great work and then immediately dive into Instagram, you've just popped the focus bubble you created.
You contaminated it. This boundary is critical for protecting the mental clarity you just spent 55 minutes building.
This all sounds incredible if you live alone with a very predictable schedule. But how does this scale to real life? What if you're a night owl?
The structure is flexible. If you are a certified night owl, the instruction is simple. Shift the entire routine forward an hour. Wake up at 7:30, start then. The benefit comes from the consistency of the routine, not the specific hour you start it.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about parents? I mean, they don't have an uninterrupted 60 minutes. The chaos starts the second a kid wakes up.
Right, and that's a huge one. The modification here is to split the routine. You do the quiet, quick steps, the WAT, wake, air, water, tidy, before the kids get up or while they're still quiet.
So you're already hydrated and the bed is made.
You've moved past sleep inertia. Then you postpone the E and the R, the energize, and reflect until after school drop-off or when you get your first break.
But isn't there a risk you'll just skip the ER part later? That block of time feels vulnerable.
It is a valid concern, and the source says you have to actively defend that time. You literally block it out on your calendar like a meeting, but the initial WAT success gives you momentum. You feel like you've already started, so it feels worse to skip the second half.
I like that realism. And what about the worst case scenario? The day is just total chaos and you only have 5 minutes.
You fall back to the 5-minute safety net. The Beats Chaos version is just 4 things: wake, water, make the bed, and the 3-minute journal. That core sequence still fires the key psychological switches, and, crucially, it maintains the habit.
So you don't break the chain.
You don't break the chain. Remember the goal. 5 out of 7 days is 80% success. Consistency always, always trumps perfection. So to summarize the key takeaways here, we've basically unpacked a structured sequence that hits all the right hormonal and psychological reset buttons. And if you need to boil it down, that 5-word morning summary is water, bed, move, eat, plan.
Water, bed, move, eat, plan. I like that. Do those 5 things 5 days in a row, and the promise is that you move past the struggle. You actually start to wake up excited because you're tapping into all those triggers we talked about.
Yeah, we've seen the magic isn't really in waking up super early. It's in the strategic hacks, the sleep math, the phone jail that turn a good idea into a habit that actually sticks and fuels you for the entire day.
So what does this all mean? The ideal morning routine, it doesn't have to be this complicated aspirational thing. It just needs a structure that respects your energy and your real life. Your mornings don't need to be perfect, they just need to be yours. Now go build one you won't quit by Wednesday.